Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. And today I am with my friend Jill Mattson. Hi, Jill.
Good morning, Angie, and everybody watching.
Yeah,
Blessing.
it's nice to see you. And everybody, as you're coming on, we're going to just talk for a couple minutes. And as you're coming on, we love to hear you. Let us say hi to us and let us know where you're from. We love to hear where everybody's from. So I'm excited to talk to Jill. And Jill, hang on one second. I'm just getting us so that we're on all the pages. Hold on one second. We're streaming on a few pages here. So Jill, let's talk just for a second about Lilydale. So tell me what you love about Lilydale.
The ground. I can feel clarity, maybe purity. I feel really special energy there. And I have a theory that it's also linked to the weather. Like if you notice the countries that are most happy, they're like Denmark, Finland, northern countries. They're not the Middle East or the countries, with equator. They're in the colder countries. And I think what you find with the colder weather is that it purifies and releases some of the anger, maybe, if you want to call it that. And sorry.
That's okay. I know probably it'll happen to me next, probably.
Well, anyway, so I think it purifies and releases energy. And in this area, it's much colder than, let's say, Buffalo, in the epicenter of the area, because I live very close to Lilydale. But they're colder quite a bit.
Oh, I didn't know you were right near Lilydale. Oh, okay.
I'm 20 minutes out. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, you're nice and close. I thought for some reason I thought you lived a ways away. So you feel like that, like the energy that the weather has something to do with like the energy of a place.
And the lake on the mountains, because the elevation of Lilydale, I live near Chautauqua, and
Oh,
it's
beautiful.
higher than Lake Erie. And you'll find like the Native American Indians would make sacred space, energy that's up. It somehow creates higher frequencies with earth energies. And then when you have people who go and pray and are spiritual, they also leave energies in the earth, good or bad. And so when you have a spiritual place, you can feel that.
So would you say, because as you're saying that, that's interesting because I always think like when you go to the stump in Lilydale, there's something about the energy there. Like I know for me, like to give a public message, I almost feel like I'm there and I feel like I'm transported or something. I usually don't even remember what I say. So is that because of yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and it works both ways. Go to Auschwitz and be prepared to be horrified because the energy leaks into the ground and its frequencies. I wrote a book called Home of Power because I started hearing frequencies from odd things like clairaudience, I guess. So like from shapes, colors, and like if I do a war memorial, I mean, I'm a basket case because the pain, not just of what it represents, but the pain of mourners or people that have lost loved ones. It just sinks into the ground and you walk by and you suck it up. So in
Yeah.
my book, what I did was like using colors, shapes, and making your house musical. That you don't hear it because it's below your hearing range, but you can create tones for your specific health issues, for things you want to manifest, for clearing energies, for lightening. And it's about it amounts to managing earth energies, earth currents, electromagnetic currents that are man-made and bad, managing them. And then colors, shapes are musical, not in our hearing range.
Yeah.
But like pyramid creates a different frequency matrix or song, if you will, than a square.
So you're kind of saying that because my next question was going to be, so how do we clear those energies? Because you're right. I know what you mean. Like I remember looking at houses and I could walk in a house and you could tell, the energy wasn't good in that house. I don't know what happened, but I know I didn't want to buy it just because of that feeling. And the one I bought was I walked in, it's like this place feels fantastic. So how would we clear that? Like say house.
Well, you can clear it with shapes. You can clear it with numbers. You can clear it with colors. You can clear it with tuning forks. You can clear it with sound. Lots of ways to clear, and then lots of ways to put back in the positive energy. And another thing, like a haunted house, or a house where you can feel spirits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just getting ready to publish a new book on the music of time.
Oh, you are?
Time is a frequency in music and how to manipulate it. Time is more a quality that influences us. It's more valuable that way than a counting tool, is what I'm suggesting. Anyway, but
I'm
that.
gonna ask you that question next. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting.
Okay. Okay. So one time I was channeling, I was told on certain time periods. So like time has nodal points, like a harmonic, like a phi, like nodal points, meaning a place where waves cancel out and higher energy can come in, because the 3D world and all of its vibrational patterns, its gateways open when you cancel our frequencies. And so that happens in time, is what I was told with channeling. And so during solstices and equinoxes, I was always shown to bring a gift, so that I'm giving to Mother Earth, but to go in and make a spiral, maybe 30 feet, and then leave a gift and then turn around back. And that doing this on special times created a porthole for spirits. And, I was not really sure whether spirits wanted to go. Not always do they feel miserable. But what I understood was, or what I think I've learned, is that, let's say I die, and let's say I have chemotherapy. Well, that's poison.
Yeah.
So I fill my body full of poison, a real low vibe. Then when I die, maybe 95% of my soul goes. 5% remains wherever my ashes or whatever are, because the poison mixed with my soul and it stayed.
Okay.
It's a ghost. Hence, people cry at the Vietnam War monument, because they've lost their loved ones, and then that energy stays right there.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because you do feel it. That's true. I went to the one in New York City, and you could, I cried just kind of standing there, and actually the memorial is really, I don't know if you've seen it. It's nice, but you can feel it. So that's what you're talking about, right?
Right. So when that sadness leaves the ground, it comes back to its owner. So it's like, if I go to a place where I was buried in a former life, let's say I had Auschwitz. Okay, let's say as Auschwitz, I go there, and I do that little ceremony. That part of me comes back to me.
Oh, okay. So you were in house. That's interesting.
A bigger group, more connections, more.
Yeah. So you mean, so if I was a house switch in a past life, which I feel like I was, or part of that, I've had so many dreams or regressions about it, and probably a part of my soul is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so maybe like on an equinox, just have your intent and see yourself spiraling in, and maybe giving a gift to Mother Earth, or just a loving feeling, and see if you can't collect yourself. When you do it, like let's say you have a haunted house and you do it, it's remarkable how different it feels. Like animals will come in, and in some places got a lot of spirits. I find that it's musty, and the owner can clean it within an inch of its life, and it never feels clean. It just feels sticky, musty. And once you do a clearing with the spiral on time nodal points, it feels translucent.
Yeah, like all of a sudden. Now, when you're talking about clearing with shapes, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Inside this little jar here, there's going to be air currents, and they're going to bump off the insides, the shape inside this, and they're going to create a certain pattern. This shape is always going to create the same pattern. And, like a perfect pyramid will always create the same pattern. Science says, and I don't know if I have this perfect off my memory, but I believe you heal wounds faster. Your immune system's boosted. Some diseases are lessened. I mean, scientists go in and have a laundry list, about 8 to 10 things that they've studied that improve if you're inside a pyramid shape. And that's just the wave interference patterns, the air, if you will, directing certain currents. And certain currents or energy currents or people currents or emotional currents, they're positive or negative. Now, we can assign good and evil, but I think it's easier to just look at them as positive and negative. So, it's like you can even get a dowser rod and measure your house, so you can see where the earth currents, and there's earth currents, and they'll like lattice across your house and your home. And on the intersection, you have a double negative, a double positive, a double negative, double positive. There was a study in Europe where they showed under the double negatives, they went to a place where a cancer institute, and they studied the bed and the favorite sitting place of every cancer patient. And 100% of them had double negatives under their bed or their chair.
Oh, wow. And that you can tell, is that like with the rods? I remember learning that in fellowships, and you could really find stuff. It was amazing. So, so you're saying do something like that and find
I describe that in my book. And then I also have a chapter on biogeometry, kind of friends with Kareem, Dr. Kareem, but he went into Egypt and got into radiothesiology, which is ancient dowsing. And they take dowsing to new heights. Currently, dowsing is finding a current or not. So that ancient art will divide it into positive and negative components. So you're getting the little tiny qualities of a subtle energy current, and then you can manage them, and you can dowse with shapes. And there's many methods that I show in this book, Home of Power, how you can just move things around your house, and even make a map of your house, move things around, maybe even on a piece of paper first, and then get your pendulum out and measure which ones are healing. Wow. How to move this or how to move that to reroute the energy currents. And then I even go into this book because you can, things like a love relationship, abundance, career goals, more friends. You can take goals like that and put them in your house's energy. Wow. And the deal is when you radiate, everything you want's within. It's an illusion. We're always grabbing out and pushing it away, but it's within.
Yeah.
So you create all this energy within of what you decide you are.
Yeah. I like how you said that. I agree with both those things, and rerouting the energy is pretty interesting because kind of what you're doing. So if you have, like, say, some kind of negative energy in your home, what you're doing is kind of rerouting that. Or would you when you say that, I think of that as like stagnant energy, or it kind of feels like it's
stagnant, or maybe two double negative energy things, or maybe something bad happened there. So there's different ways, like, I use like tuning forks to go in and clean out the pathways and the closets. And then and when the energy lightens up, the room is different. And so that's one way of doing it. Another way is to move things. Like the thing about the earth currents, you can move them, but they're pretty stubborn. So it's usually, and so if it's my bed and I don't have a place to move it, I'll modify different things around, or move the bed a foot, move my favorite chair a foot.
And that makes a difference because you know what, I noticed that when I do that, and I don't do it for that reason, but I'll do it because something doesn't feel right to me.
There you go.
It'll change the whole energy. And that's even like I'll move my knickknacks around or something, right. Or give your house a good cleaning, and all of a sudden it's different. So so you are actually changing the energy with that. Yeah. Yes. Probably like when you talk about tuning forks, I want to ask you about sound, because I know that you do a lot with sound, but you should probably go around your house with tuning forks from time to time anyway, right? Yes. Just to keep things fresh and clear.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Because we don't think about it, but it's like a frequency machine affects us every second we're in or in that space.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a constant drip. It's not like you go to the massage therapist and you get a really good treatment for that hour. I mean, you're creating a space that's going to deliver all the time.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree. So talk about sound, because I know when I first met you, it was at one of the fairs, and I really wanted a sound bowl and a singing bowl, and I didn't know if I'd be able to make it sing. Pretty much for the most part I couldn't. And then I came and I talked to you, and you said, go, pick one that you really feel drawn to, and you'll be able to play it. And you were right. And it's still like, I have other ones now too, besides it, but that's my favorite one. So yeah. Can you talk
Sure.
about that? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A bowl's going to make a sound. It's going to have a certain shape, which creates an energy, but it also makes a certain pitch. F sharp, in between them, a D, an E, C. And you also have, if you were to average everything up in you, all your feelings, your thoughts, your strengths, your illnesses, everything, it all is energy and it all vibrates and it does create like a composite tone. So I'm like a G.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm G.
Okay.
I tend to like G's. I find that most of my best friends are my balancing tones. So like if you were to arrange tones, like assign them to colored light, take colored light down octaves and you'll get musical notes. And then, so you have tones on a color wheel, you'll find that the tones on the color wheel, or the colors opposite or complementary colors, are all the same thing. They balance each other. So they're more like a seesaw. So if you're a D, then you're going to probably most of the time have too much D, and you're going to be attracted to a G because that's the other end of that seesaw.
Ah. So it's almost so that's interesting too, because you meet certain people that you just kind of are in sync with, and that's probably why. So how do you know? Like, how do I know what I am?
Well, let me see. I have that in my books too. I have that in Secret Sounds. I think I have that in that one. Anyway, there's many ways.
Okay.
You can do it with science. You can go into a hospital and they can measure your tones. Some hospitals. You can slide your voice from the highest to the lowest and try to find about the average, and then have a piano nearby to figure out what the key is.
Oh, okay.
You'll
Okay.
find that you resonate with you. So like if I'm a G, and because I'm creating G's, the predominance of G's. So if I start to sing a G, the singing resonates with my body, and energy's exchanged on the same note. And so it amplifies and gets louder.
Okay.
So if I'm going, ooh, and I do it slower and kind of tune into my body, I'll do it like, ooh, there's going to be a little bit louder on the tone that's me.
Yes, that's interesting. And I almost wonder, because as you were doing that, doing the, I won't do it because I have a terrible singing voice.
You're fine.
I love to sing though. I don't care. But you can feel, because you could feel the vibration as you did that. I could feel the vibration in my body. So
Yes.
probably if I broke that down, it was kind of, you got about a third of the way through, and I felt that. So I wonder, like, if that's a part of it too. So that would be like a tone I'd want to work with then, right?
Yes. Yes. Another way to do it, and again, I have this in, oh geez, quite a few of my books, but the work is of Sherry Edwards, and she calls it a note correlate chart. So she just has the note, things in your body that are same frequencies, emotions that are same frequencies. And then the ancient Sumerians coordinated or linked musical scales to the zodiac tones.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have like Aries B, C, and then, Taurus is C sharp, Gemini D. So you kind of go like a clock. The tones get a little bit, higher in pitch.
Yeah.
You make a chromatic scale. And so, again, the charts are in my books. I think Secret Sounds, I think that's the book that has them. But anyway,
I'm going to post everybody who's watching. I'm going to post all Jill's books. I don't have Aaron to pull them up on screen, but I'll be posting them in comments. Go ahead, because I
Okay.
know people are going to ask that.
So anyway, you can look at your birthday, and your birthday, according to the ancient Sumerians, is going to coordinate with the tone. And then you can kind of double check that. Like, is it your favorite color? And then it'll list health issues and personality issues. Do you fit? And the reason why I say to double check it is because some people come in with maybe 2 life purposes. I did.
Yeah.
So my first half of my life, I resonated with, I did charity work, and I resonated with this group of people, and I had a very different life. And then it was just over one day, so I figured I must have achieved what I wanted to. And then I moved to a new tone.
Wow. That's interesting because I feel like that's happened to me too, where if I looked at my life 20 years ago to where it is now, I wonder if that's a common thing with a lot of people now. Because as you talk, I think a lot of people are doing that this time around. Would you say?
Yes, because we're cleaning up. So we want to, as the soul comes in, you want to fix as much as you can.
Yes, yeah, I feel that. Do you feel too that when you're talking about, like, say, astrology and sound and color and all that, I always think, like, when people ask me when is my baby going to be born, and I always think the baby will be born at the perfect time, right? Astrologically, and so that the baby has all the support it needs, the soul really, to complete what it wants to in this lifetime. Would you agree?
I wonder, just wondering
Oh,
if
yeah, you have that happening soon. Yeah,
if the most important time is not conception. And the reason why I say that is because at conception, that sperm's got to find the perfect egg.
yes.
Then, it's the energy is very, very tiny and subtle, and it's so easily influenced. Whereas a baby who's fully formed, who's got bones and tissues and a skull and this and that, that's not quite as malleable as that liquid couple little cells in the beginning.
Very
And
much. I never thought of that. Yeah.
yeah, so I wonder about that. And then another thing I have on my site, it's called Seasons of the Sky. So I have music in the key of C, C sharp, D, D sharp. So I do the astrology, and then I put in tapings from NASA. So each one of the songs literally has stars in that zodiac to connect to. And then I did a couple others like Sirius and Arcturus and so forth. And so if you want to look at some of these charts that I'm talking about, you could even just kind of peg your personality or peg health issues, and then see which tones balance. So when a song is like, let's say, remember I said I'm G and I always need D. So I'm going to want to listen to a song in the key signature of D. And when something's in the key signature of D, probably a quarter of the tones are D, and maybe 85% of the tones are going to be in the chord of D.
Mm-hmm.
So when you listen to something in D, you get a lot of D. So
Right.
That's why people say key signatures for people who aren't musical. So like, when I am in G, my health issues are all from not enough D. You can look at them. They're right on the charts, and I got them just like the chart says I should. And so what balances that up, is the tone across the chart.
So that's almost how I'm hearing that. It's like, okay, so you're out of balance then, my hands, so you're out of balance. And then when you add D, you're going to be back in balance. And then health issues and things are going to have the opportunity to get back in balance, because that's really what an illness is, right? We're out of balance. Jennifer says here, when I do healing, I put my person in an octahedron.
Okay.
Oh, you know what that is? Okay, I don't know what that is. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good way for healing. There's different healings in different sacred shapes. You might want to play around with them because you'll find, like, I don't know, I have these memories from Atlantis when we were all sound healers, and we'd put someone in the middle, and then with our voices, like our voice would be like a water pistol. and we would create different shapes for different healings, because they're all positive, but they're all positive in like in a little different way.
Yeah, interesting.
So
So I want to bring up too, because I always feel like time goes by fast when we're talking. But you're gonna teach a class of fellowships, and I think that I actually can pull it up. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this. Aha, this is pretty impressive. So, okay, so and actually, I don't. It's called More Than That, right, Jill? I
yes.
have yeah, energy healing. Energy is invincible. Clearing is instantaneous. Access your etheric records to create a new energy modality. So, and Jill's class is Saturday, June 29th from 10 to 5. It's available. You can take it on Zoom or in person at Fellowships of the Spirit, which is exciting. So, Jill, what can you tell us a little bit about this class?
Sure. It's concentrating on angels. And the premise is that everybody says, oh, we're all one and the same. All is, all that is, we're all connected. It doesn't always feel like that. In fact, it usually doesn't feel like that. But the premise is that if you go back far enough in your evolution, we all started out as God. And then God, created another, and then another, and another, and another, and another. And so given that we're all kind of linked, we can link back to very early incarnations prior to coming to Earth. And all of us have, in some distance back, varies per person, connections with angels being higher evolved beings. And so there's many things we do. We learn about the different angels. There's angels, and they're described and worked with differently in the cultures throughout the ancient world. In the ancient world, perhaps either was in a time period pre-flood, let's say, when they worked with angels in flesh, if you will, or after, when they had stories of angels and perhaps intervention again. So I kind of go and grab the different ways that they work with angels. And I'm just going to highlight two things from the class. Okay. There's many things to highlight. But anyway, one is working with your etheric records, your Akashic records, going back far enough until you were related with an angel, were an angel, let's say. And in the class and when on Zoom, we're going to do processes to pull out your etheric wings.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like activating a long lost part of yourself.
Okay.
And it's kind of fun to do that, but it's more than fun. So there are, and this is very ancient, there are techniques like different arm positions and so forth that are used to direct your etheric wings. Wow. So like if you want protection, you literally create a subtle energy barrier. And you can even do it with your mind if that's kind of awkward in the physical. And or protection, or getting energy from your chakras. So there's ways, once you have your wings activated, of using them like Reiki. And they're very good in situations. And of course, they're most strong when you use your arms. But when that's inappropriate, I do it in my mind, and it still works.
And it's the same thing. So, okay, so you're activating your angel wings. Is that because we all have we were angels at one time? It is. Okay. Can you talk about that? I didn't know that.
Well, think that God is all that is. And in the beginning, God was everything. And then he created, with the word or sounds, he creates something else, and he observes himself. And he creates the illusion, if you will, that he's two. So then he subdivides, and let's say he subdivides, and according to the Hebrews, he's subdividing right into the angelic realm. And You know, a lot of people think of angels as like Barbie dolls with wings. Not so in
A lot
antiquity.
more, yeah,
They're
yes.
kind of like, ooh, no, God, no, fear. You know, they were frightening,
I know, I know.
monster-like, scary.
I
So
know.
it's not that we're not playing Barbies. Anyway, so God created this second level of evolution, and then he creates and creates, and it subdivides and subdivides and so forth. And that's a long way off, but it's still there.
Mhm.
And it's just amazing. Just as you said, I could go to that war memorial and feel it. I activate your wings and they're there. And when you use them, you feel it.
Yeah, and why not be connected to that part of you? Because everything stays with the soul, right?
Yeah.
So why not have that? And then so when you have that, what can you do? You can heal yourself or heal others or
Using it for healing. I use it for protection. I use it actually a lot for protection. Like, you know, when people are maybe negative, or, you know, you get in those situations and people are just ugly, I guess you can cut the air with a knife. You can just kind of float above it. You can
Mhm.
clear it. And healing energy can be found above your life stream. You can download it. Um, I use it to curb people's behavior against myself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So activating your angel wings isn't something like, okay, so we do this in the class and then we go home, and we kind of got a healing and that's it. What you're saying is we're activating our angel wings and then we're keeping them. So it's more of an awareness too, like let's activate, know we have these and
Yes.
use them in our lives. It's a great tool for us.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. So that's what that's what you're teaching. I'm
One of the
excited.
things. One of the
So,
things.
okay, so you said so you had this, I wanted to ask about this too. So, okay, so energy is invincible, clearing is instantaneous. So is that what we were talking about earlier, or is that something too you can use your angel wings to clear?
You can
'Cause
use your angel wings to clear, but when you start working with higher dimensions, so the angels were a long time ago, so they're pretty high up. So like there's even a hierarchy in almost every ancient culture, but we'll take the Hebrew one, like, you know, the angels, principles, and then there's, oh, I'm thinking, what is there? Angels, archangels, principalities, virtues, dominions, cherubims. So they have this whole little hierarchy. And of course, the ones at the top of the chain are most powerful.
Okay.
So wait a minute. Could you tell me your question again?
Energy is invincible,
Yeah.
clearing is instantaneous. So
You start going up to those higher dimensions. Like I find some of the more powerful angels at 11th and 12th. That energy is so pure, so fine, so complete. It doesn't have the density that we experience here. It doesn't have the negativity. When you start to work with angels, or even just ascended masters, or even feelings that are very pure, you start approaching higher dimensional energies, and it's more complete, it's more healing. You download it, and it's kind of like turning on the lights. There's not a battlefield between light and dark. When you swipe up the switch, light goes on, darkness loses. And so when you start to work with these really powerful energies, um, darkness can't remain. And you can explain it through music. So in music, dissonance, negativity in music is notes that are close together. They sound really crappy.
Mhm.
Okay, so you start to go up octaves. And so like in a low octave, maybe there's 2 cycles per second between a C, C. But if you go up high, maybe you go from 4,000 to 8,000, you double something to get an octave. Then
Right.
there's a difference of 4,000 cycles per second. Well, if you had 8 notes within an octave starting at 4,000 cycles per second, they're going to be like miles apart.
Yeah.
And density can only be 1 or 2 cycles. The negativity can only be within 1 or 2 cycles per second. It's like
Yeah.
the higher you go up, it just seems to like drop
Yeah.
density and
Yeah.
negativity.
So is it true, like say when you're working with angels, I've followed Penny Donovan, who was somebody that taught. She's on the other side now, and she channeled Archangel Gabriel. You know about her, yeah. And okay, it's interesting, but I think that it said in there that that angels don't interfere. You have to ask, right? Yeah, you have to ask for them to be with you. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So access your etheric records to create a new energy modality. So so that's kind of another thing we're doing in this class is.
Well, there's a ton of ancient exercises to communicate and work with your angels. And so we have many, many exercises. Maybe one of the ones to highlight is that I'm really excited about is that ancient, traditions all valued the name of God. Not a little bit. I mean, this heals your life. This does everything for your life. This does protection against darkness. And you'll find it in Hindu, you find it in China, you find it all over. So, we have a Christian religion which has Hebrew roots or Jewish roots. And they're the same way about the names of God. So they believe that the names of God, there's 72 of them. And they come from the Old Testament. They were encoded, and they write them with their Hebrew letters. Now, ancient languages just aren't the same as modern. They're called languages of light in many traditions. The difference is that today's languages are symbolic, which means if it comes to me hurting your feelings, I can have bad intent and use bad words, but my words aren't literally going to hurt you. It's symbolic.
Yeah.
So we're taking, it's kind of like as we evolved into matter, somebody took our dangerous toys away and we got a language that's weaker. But you go into the ancient languages like Ben in Egypt means walking straight. You reverse the letters, Neb, and you're walking backward. It's not symbolic. It is the energy of what it is. So like if you have a drum and I go underneath and I go, Om, then the Sanskrit, if you put sand on the drum, it'll start to shake when I sing, go out to the edge, come back in, pile up and kind of cancel out. It'll create the Om shape.
Oh, really?
The Om letter.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because
on a drum, you do that, and wow, I have to do that. Wow.
That's
Okay,
how they tuned ancient gongs in China on what shapes they created. So it's called cymatics. It's science. The stuff vibrates, goes out to the end, but depending on the pitches, it's going to come in different angles. And certain sound patterns are going to create representative images.
Wow.
So you think about a race of people that are telepathic. It's a much deeper communication than this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you and I aren't going to get out our phones and text now because we're talking. It's better.
Right.
You're telepathic. You're not going to bother talking with words because it's cheesy, kind of like a text.
Yeah.
So why would they use language?
Yeah.
Well, they were creating. It was purpose driven. They were forming. They believed in their power. So there wasn't the time lag between they create and it forms. So anyway, the Hebrews would say the world was created with the 22 Hebrew letters. And, you'll find a similar story in ancient American Indians and all over the world, creating with sound. So I found a way, I found two ways, actually, of taking the ancient symbols and translating them into sounds. And so you can look at languages and also with the angels in Hermetic magic, Egypt, papyrus, the pagan white magic. You'll find the angels have sigils, like S-I-G-I-L-S.
Yeah, you were saying
so
that.
Each angel has a shape. You can get online and find it. And you can buy jewelry in it because the shape is the energy of the angel. It's like if you imagine your mom sitting next to you, feel a tiny bit different.
Yeah.
Imagine her not there.
That's true.
Yeah. So you wear this sigil and there's the angel.
And the angel's energy's with you.
Yes.
Is that why, like, I always think about the Om sign, the Om. So was that created somehow like that? Like what you're, okay, it was. Okay.
Om and the Hindu thing for Om, they're the same energy, not symbolic.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
symbolic too, but also the same.
And then when you wear that, because so many people do, right? They want to have that Om sign. Like, I mean, you see that a lot, and they wear that so they get, and then that energy's with them.
Yes. And the
Wow.
same with the sigils. And so one thing, everybody comes to the class is going to get one of my music collections. It's about an hour, but it's the 72 names of God in Hebrew. And so there's 8 ancient languages of light, like Tibet, Greece, ancient Hebrew, ancient Chinese, and Sanskrit. It's one collection. And kind of like the Lord of the Rings, the one ring to rule them all. Well, the one language to rule them all, to bring them all together is Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So that's why I use the Hebrew names of God. And so I had someone from Israel coach me on the ancient ways of pronouncing them. And then I was able to do a converter and translate them into tones. So you have the sigil, but the sigil is going to bum, 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 bum. It's going to have a tonal pattern. And so I give everybody an hour's worth of music, and it's the 72 names of God. So I'm saying them, but I'm saying them with their pitches. And then if an angel is associated with a number, a fragrance, a color, all those things are frequency. And I put all those frequencies in. So you can kind of listen to the track and download and connect to angelic energies, or maybe use like this one for purpose. Mm-hmm. Angels, unlike ascended masters, are more purpose driven. So like, I don't know about you, but I'm real scattered. I like this and that and this and that. So my aura is like,
yeah.
over there. Well, an angel's one color. If they're going to heal, they're going to heal. I mean, they're not going to talk about this or that. They're here for this.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes it's really helpful to work with this angel or that, depending on what's up in your life.
Oh, almost like the angels. It sounds like they're pretty wise, pretty magical, not like Barbie, but magical, that they can focus. And if we ask for them to be with us and we activate our own angel wings, we're going to improve our lives. You're right. Yeah. Pretty cool. We're going to heal. And honestly, like I think things like this are needed in our world right now.
I do too.
Very much so. Very much.
Just bringing a tremendous amount of light.
Yeah. So, okay. So let me ask you, and I know you're already talking about it, but give me so why should people take this class?
Well, I think a lot of people have difficult challenges and need protection. A really, really good use of angelic energy is protection. And that's negative people in your life, negative situations, even your own past karma.
Yeah.
That's one. Another one is for healing. I believe that you can use your angel wings for yourself and for others into balance and to get the frequencies you need. So you can tie into somebody's life stream and kind of help them download higher energies that they uniquely need to balance. Balance meaning heal.
Very much.
You can use it for downloading gifts or even situations like, let's say you want to manifest and you're finding yourself just needy. Well, needy manifests needy. So if you want to manifest something, you have to become the energy of what you want.
Right.
Sometimes that's really hard when you don't have it.
Right.
Another way to kind of download and, purify and connect. And then if you work with the angels a lot, you're going to start to absorb their energy and you're going to start to lighten up. What's that mean? That means you have more personal power. That sounds like a buzzword, but it means
it's true though.
It's hurt. You don't get, you get wisdom, just gifts all around.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so. I like how you said that you have to be that energy if you want something in your life or you want to manifest. And kind of be it. And really it's inside of us. And this class and what you're teaching is going to help connect to that part inside of us so we can do that.
Right. Even the whole concept of activating the angel within.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like quit going chasing your tail and start looking within for your answers.
That's right. Because so often people do that. It's I'm looking out here. Where is it? Where is it? And we need to go in here, and we'll find it so much easier. It's so much easier. Yeah, I love that. I was going to say something else too, and I forgot because I'm listening. I love talking to you. It's fascinating. So yeah, I think this class is so good. Oh, I want So it are these tools things like if you're an energy healer and you take this class, you're healing yourself, which essentially is going to heal other people just by being around you in the world. But can you use these tools in your own healing practice too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You can use the exercise. You can play the music during healing sessions, and you can activate other people's swings.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of exercises that are repeatable.
I love that. I love that. You're right. We can activate other people's wings. That's so important. That's what we need to do nowadays, I think. Very much so. So, okay, I'm going to pull this up one more time. I'm very proud of myself that I can do this. So, okay, so we have energy healing with Jill Mattson at Fellowships of the Spirit, or also on Zoom. So you can take the class either way. It's June 29th this year. Really just a few weeks away. We're almost there. From 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. And people love Jill's classes. I put her website. Let me get rid of this again so you can see. But right there is Jill's. I have the website correct, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's there. So if you want to find out about Jill's books or about her sound, anything, like everything you're talking about, and so much, you do so many things. Are your CDs and things available too, also like on your website?
Yes. And so each CD does something different. One tunes your muscles, one gives you vitamins. I'm coming out with one with brain chemicals and hormones to balance your body.
Wow.
Lighten your aura. I mean, one has the God gene in it in sound, which is a literal scientific thing that you can build in yourself. So they all do something.
Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Don't you also do you still have tuning forks and sound bowls available? You do? Okay. I want some tuning forks. I'm going to be looking on there for tuning forks. Yeah. So, yeah. So,
two.
What?
I had them made out of crystal tuning forks, and they're fabulous.
Oh, I need those. I want those very much. Yes. We'll talk. Okay. I'll go on your website. You can bring them. Maybe you can bring them when you come to fellowship. So looking forward to seeing you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and definitely register for Jill's class. It's going to be amazing.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Thanks, Jill.
Okay. Thank you.